This is the Fifth Estate Winning Headlines, your media police post, brought to you by the Fort Hall School of Government, coming to you from Nairobi, Kenya. In this segment, we summarize some of the headlines that you may have missed this morning, but we also take a look at the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 12th of April 2022, and I am 2J.
I am JM.
And I am Miss K. Again, in case you missed today's headlines, here they are. Daily Nation, Kalonzo rocks Raila coalition. The Standard, Form 1, big rush for national schools. The Star, RUTO's moment of truth as UDA holds primaries. And finally, People Daily, Nanyuki tops as most liked high school. Why don't you kick us off, JM?
Yeah. So William Ruto is between a rock and a hard place. And this is on account of whom he will select as his running mate. In fact, he has exactly 16 days before he begins political bankruptcy proceedings. And this is because on the 28th of April, Ruto and Raila must tell the country who their running mates will be. Now, according to game theory, competitions yield one of three outcomes. They can either be positive sum, zero sum, or lose-lose. In positive sum situations, all the players come out with something. Had BBI gone through and the executive expanded, Ruto would have had a positive sum outcome.
True.
In zero-sum situations, there can only be one winner. If Ruto had not made an enemy of his boss, he would have been endorsed by Uhuru. They would have replicated the Kikuyu Kalenjin formula of 2013 and 2017, and Ruto would have won to the exclusion of Raila Odinga. Lastly, you have what are known as the lose-lose outcomes. These are situations where there is no favorable outcome for either of the players. Players have many choices, but all of them lead to total loss. For example, if an executioner offers the condemned the choice of death by being hanged, shot, or poisoned, all those choices lead to death. So, why is William Ruto in a lose-lose situation? Whomever Ruto selects as running mate on Thursday, 28th April, will officially alienate some part of his core support base. Should he announce Musalia Mudavadi, Kikuyus will ask him why they should give him 4.6 million votes. Should he choose a formidable and respectable Kikuyu politician like Susan Kihika, Mudavadi will ask why he should give him his 470,000 votes. Now, Mudavadi may be pacified by being told that he will be given a position in the executive, but then again, we all know William Ruto. Over his dead body, will he be expanding the executive to share power? And that is how on the 28th of April then, upon realizing that he has been shafted, Musalia will bolt back to Azimio and throw his weight behind Raila Odinga. Raila, unlike Ruto, will make him the first Deputy Prime Minister in his first 100 days in office. All along, I have hypothesized that Musalia Mudavadi is Uhuru's Trojan horse. Uhuru sent him there to collapse UDA. And so let me end by telling you a version 2.0 of the Trojan horse story. The year was 1985, and the Washington Redskins football team were the hottest team in America then. They were so popular that the waiting list for a season ticket was 25 years. But one TV cable company, Flagship International Sports TV as they were known, used this ticket shortage to its advantage. They sent out invitations to a random list of lucky people to come to the game free of charge. The recipients couldn't believe their luck. It was too good to be true. It was a luxury event. First was going to be brunch at the Washington Convention Center, then a bus to take them to the stadium, and then finally the game that everybody coveted. Naturally, the lucky winners had to bring ID to prove who they were. So when they arrived in their Sunday best, it was a party atmosphere, cheering, whooping, high fives everywhere. They were greeted by skimpily dressed cheerleaders who even hugged them, led into the hall by ushers in tuxedos and team mascots, and then finally they were addressed by the head of marketing. And she said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a special surprise for you today. You're all under arrest. Get down on the floor now." Then boom, the doors burst open and dozens of armed police rushed in with shotguns. They handcuffed everyone, every one of these winners while they were lying on the floor. And the entire event, we then came to learn, had been a sting operation. And this is the Mudavadi Trojan horse. Whichever way William Ruto's candidature is cooked, it will become apparent on the end of this month, on the 28th of April.
I do love that story. And I'd like to take Jem's timeline and dial it back a little bit to 1.5 weeks. That is this week on Thursday. And as the rest of the country will be holding the general election on August 9th, UDA will be holding its little general election this Thursday. Yes, UDA will be holding its party primary elections this Thursday. And for those hoping for nomination, it might as well be the actual election. Yeah. We say this because if you win in this little general election, then the actual election of August 9th will be just a formality. Because William Ruto and his Hustler Brigade believe that their party, UDA, is the frontrunner in this election, the stakes at this Thursday's party primary will be high. And we want to predict that there will be violence. In 2017, there was violence in the ODM nominations and Jubilee party primaries, and there will also be violence in the 2022 party primaries beginning this Thursday. Fact. This is because violence in party nominations is a problem of scarcity, regardless of party. A UDA nomination in a RUTO stronghold is a scarce resource. Yeah. And to get that nomination, even if you are getting a direct nomination, you must fight it out.
Yes.
If you introduce a scarce resource in an environment of scarcity, the result is conflict at zero option.
Yeah.
And I want to say, as JM said, it's a zero-sum situation. There's only one winner. So for instance, if the position of governor is desired by 5 people and only one person must get it, the 5 must fight it out. And it will not matter who your father is or how much money you have in your bank account. The only thing that will matter is your gangster index. Because party nominations, there are no systems. The law is consensus by dominance, and only the crooked will survive. Right. But I also want to make one final prediction. Once the UDA nominations are concluded, counted, and announced on Thursday evening, there will be a mass exodus from UDA over Easter. Yes. This is because there can only be one party flag bearer, and sometimes the party candidate is not necessarily the popular candidate. All those Kikuyus who moved into UDA hoping to secure a nomination but failed will be forced to move out of the party and seek office as independent candidates. And as I've said in the past, maybe the third force in the 2022 election will be a party called Independent.
Now, we have said before that William Ruto is a good student of history who learned from the Arap Moi playbook of mischief. But I also want to believe that Ruto has learned a thing or two from Baba Man himself, and that Raila Odinga has taught Mr. Ruto that bad behavior pays off and is rewarded in plenty. Let me explain. In 2007, post-election violence brought Kenya to its knees. But in the end, country lost and politics won, with the biggest beneficiary being Raila Odinga. A whole government was reorganized and laws were put into place to make him prime minister. Then in 2017 also, we experienced Africa's first nullified election and the longest electoral period in Kenya's history for a painful 123 days. Raila responded by swearing himself in as the so-called people's president and brought us to the edge of chaos. But the handshake saved the day and then accommodated Baba into government. What's my point here? This is the playbook that William Ruto is reading from. Mr. Ruto has observed and learnt that bad behavior is rewarded in politics and rewarded bigly. If you become a big enough nuisance to the state, it won't erase you, it will absorb you. Is this why then he is openly defying the NCIC by promoting words of ethnic incitement? Is this why he's using the law to anger the public about SIM registration and so-called fuel shortages? And is this why he has threatened to trash the 2023 budget if he's elected president? I think that Mr. Ruto is intentionally inciting anger towards the state as a backup plan for when he loses the election. He's attempting the Baba method. But there is a problem with this logic. Baba's acts of rebellion had reason. He was rebelling against the rule of only 2 communities over the whole country. Mr. Ruto, on the other hand, is a rebel without a cause. He does not appear to believe in anything. His allegiance is to money and to self. These people only believe in their own fortunes and will change flags and loyalties as circumstances require. And persons with no allegiance to anything or anyone are dangerous. At least traitors believe in something. So is it possible then that after his presidential loss, Mr. RUTO will take the Samsonian option, hoping that his reward will be a seat at the table called government? I don't know.
It's probable. We have a three-part criteria that we use to judge the headlines for you. We ask ourselves three questions. Is the headline topical or speculative, repetitive or groundbreaking, and thoughtful or just plain lazy? Daily Nation, Kalonzo rocks Raila coalition. The Standard, Form 1, big rush for national schools. The Star, Ruto's moment of truth as UDA holds primaries. And People Daily, Nanyuki tops as most liked high school.
I'm liking this moment of truth for UDA primaries. I think it speaks to what both of you said, right?
I do agree. It's inspired two scripts. I think it's worthy of a winning headline. So I will toss the rest and leave us with the Star.
Yep.
The Star gives us our winning headline. Now, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find us on your TV screens. We're on Pang, Free to Air, Go TV, and Star Times. I'll leave you with a quote. This is to all the running mates, nomination people, party primaries, those who are seeking election candidacy. And it's from Oscar Wilde, and he says, there's only two great tragedies in life. One is not getting what you want, and the other is getting what you want. Do have a great evening.